Hello, my name's Ian White and I'm the Senior Tutor of the college and also the Programme Leader for the Short Course Programme. I've been coming along to this event for over 41 years, when it was first called Cliff College Anniversary, then it became Cliff College Celebration, then Festival of course, and now it's Festival at Home. Years ago, under a big blue board that said prospective students, I went and had a chat to a staff member. What would it mean to become a student of the college? And a few years later, I became that student, coming full time in the 1980s and then returning in the 90s to do my master's degree. Maybe this is your weekend. Are you a prospective student of the college? Please do explore and find out all the different courses that we run here at the college. And maybe you'll be joining me and my colleagues here sometime next year. God bless.
Hello, my name's Tim Baker and I'm the Churches and Volunteers Manager at All We Can. It's been my privilege to be at Cliff Festival many times over the last few years, always in my role as part of the All We Can team. So it's been my pleasure to lead seminars and to have lots of really good conversations in the marketplace. And it's those conversations in the marketplace that will always be my endearing memories of Cliff Festival. Brilliant conversations about people's discipleship, about people's spiritual growth, times of prayer, times where we've learned and grown together. So this Cliff Festival, as we do Festival at Home, we're excited to be part of the All We Can team again and to be bringing our digital fire pit, a place where we can gather around this fire as people have gathered for centuries to pray, to reflect, to tell stories and to share about our own discipleship and our own journey. We hope that you'll gather with us this Festival at Home.
Hi friends, it's Veronica from Cliff College. You might know me from Festival, where I'm running around the campsite or running the mocktail bar. This year we're excited to bring you a fun-filled, worship-packed weekend through Festival at Home. Friends, we serve a Heavenly Father who loves to connect with us, and that's why I hope that you'll find some time this bank holiday weekend to find meaningful connection through Festival Online. God bless you, and we look forward to Festival 2021, where we'll get to see you in person.
Since my father died, my mother has been struggling on her own to support the whole family. At times, there hasn't been enough food to eat. Everything has been a struggle. My school is a long way away, and I have a lot of chores to do first. I fetch water, sweep the compound, clean the house, wash the clothes, start the fire, and take care of my brothers and sisters. If I am late for school, they close the gate and I miss class all day.
Change begins with a bike. Change begins with your regular support.
Before I got the bike, I told my mom I'm not going to school anymore because I'm tired of getting up at 5 and walking the long distance every day. I used to spend 2 hours getting to school, but now it only takes me 1 hour. I'm happy because I'm not late for school anymore. I have enough time to read my books and I still have time to do the rest of my chores. I love chemistry so much. It's my favorite subject. And now I have a bike to get to school. I can be a nurse one day.
Change begins with a bike. Begin this journey as a regular giver. See the cycle of poverty broken for £6 a month.
what's up? My name is Jonah and I've just completed a BA in Theology at Cliff College. Whilst at Cliff College, the main thing that I have found beneficial to me is the Mission Placement Unit. Now this is a unit that allows you to do mission alongside your studying. This was vital for me as I love getting out and being hands-on and being practical and doing what I love doing, which is mission. The kind of mission that I've been involved in has included a whole range of stuff, from doing local church mission to national mission to international mission, which is amazing, and all these opportunities have come from Cliff College. I've had the opportunity to lead a youth club for 2 years, which is an amazing opportunity for me who was quite young at the time, but I learnt loads and it grew me in my leadership skills, and what I was practically learning on the course was being implemented into what I was doing. I've done national youth ministry through New Wine, doing stuff with them, and again what I've learnt on the course theoretically has gone into what I've been doing there. And then I've had opportunities with Cliff College to go abroad. I've been to Zimbabwe and Zambia to see what they're doing and see how the church works out there, and I've also had the opportunity last year to go to India to see what they've been doing with their young people, which is an amazing opportunity. I had the opportunity to speak and do like little testimony times with youth over there and children in orphanages and people in just crazy conditions compared to me, so it was a great opportunity to go out there and see what they've been doing. Cool, I hope that helps. Definitely come to Cliff College, it's great.
Well, welcome to this session put together by All We Can. My name's Matt and I'm delighted to be able to have you here with us today. This session is entitled The Untold Global Impact of the Coronavirus on some of the poorest communities around the world, and see how hope is still to come. I hope that as you journey together with us in this content that we put together for you for the next 29 minutes or so, that you are inspired, challenged and also encouraged, all in equal measure. That there is hope despite what we're going through, and despite what the world will continue to go through in the coming months as well. So you're going to hear these inspiring stories and challenging stories as well. I hope as we do that together, you might comment and let us know what you're feeling, what you're thinking as well. We encourage you to like this video, and also got a little challenge for you right at the beginning of this seminar. Why don't you share it with someone? Why don't you text a friend right now on WhatsApp or go on Facebook Messenger and drop them a message. Tell them that you're watching this content right now. Tell them to tune in and see how together we can be on this hope-filled journey. So let's go on this journey together now and see how hope can come despite the global pandemic that we are facing of the coronavirus.
I'm Sophie French, and I'm the Interim Partnership Manager for Cameroon and Team Administrator.
And I know that you've been in recent contact with the local partners in Cameroon. Can you tell me a little bit about what the current situation is in Cameroon, and tell me a little bit about how the virus is affecting that country?
The government put in protection measures quite early on in March, where they closed down the borders, they closed the schools, they banned public gatherings of more than 50 people, and they set up an awareness campaign in different local dialects to educate people on how to protect themselves from the virus. From my conversations that I've had with the local partners in Cameroon, there is a lot of fear amongst communities at the moment. They're seeing the news about how the virus is affecting the West, and they're afraid, as their health systems are a lot weaker than ours. And also it's very difficult for many people to actually isolate and social distance because they live a hand-to-mouth existence and they have to go outside to earn a living. So there really is a lot of uncertainty and fear at the moment, which is why the work that All We Can is doing to respond to coronavirus is so important to protect those vulnerable people.
Brilliant. And looking to the situation as it is at the moment, how are the local partners that you're in contact with, how have they been adapting their work in light of coronavirus?
So at the moment, our local partners are focusing on response efforts to prepare communities for the eventual spread of coronavirus. That's included mass sensitization work to educate and train local people on correct hand washing techniques, to improve general hygiene, and to inform people of how to properly social distance. One local partner is actually building hand washing stations in rural communities so people have easier access to water. And they are also delivering hand sanitizers and face masks to ensure people are fully protected. Another local partner is producing their own hand sanitizers, which will be distributed to 300 local families and 500 medical staff throughout 6 hospitals.
What hope is there for communities in Cameroon in this situation?
The local partners in Cameroon, they have said that they're seeing an increased consciousness in good hygiene and sanitation practice amongst local people, which is so important not only to combat coronavirus, but also to prevent the spread of other common infectious diseases such as cholera. There's also an increased communication from the Cameroonian government who are making an effort to keep people educated and informed about how to protect themselves from the virus. And it's a hope that this level of communication will remain a lasting part of government. For me, I think you can find hope in just about every situation. And I think sometimes the plight of African countries can easily be forgotten about by the West. But coronavirus is a global issue, and it's one that we are all facing together. For me, coronavirus has highlighted just how connected we are as a human race, and how more than ever, it's so important that we pull together to globally combat this virus. So it's my hope that we can use coronavirus as a catalyst for change and shape a world where no one is left to live a life of poverty.
Well, thank you so much, Sophie and Amy, for that really insightful and inspiring talk there, and give us a bit of insight into what the coronavirus impact is having across the world, but in particular in Cameroon. I've got Tim, who's our Churches and Volunteers manager at All We Can. And Tim, I would really like to hear some of your thoughts on just hearing your first impressions of what you've just listened to there from Sophie.
Yeah, great to hear the update from Sophie and to get a sort of sense of what's happening in the field, as it were. I suppose what strikes me first and most clearly is just the innovation that's going on. I think these are really challenging times, and it's challenging for everybody, but so encouraging to hear about the work our local partners are doing, and that some of the local communities they're supporting are already doing to innovate and to come up with new solutions, you know, even down to making your own hand sanitizer, because some of those, you know, we take it for granted that we can access soap and buy soap in the local shops, but just to be able to innovate and come up with a local solution, so encouraging, I think.
It really was, and I think for us we can take heart in actually the future proofing. But this is not just going to be coronavirus for now, but actually that our partners are looking long term of how actually we can begin to bring hope in this situation, about having those techniques of creating your own hand sanitizer and the training that's also been involved that Sophie mentioned actually means that there can be hope, not just for now, but in the future as well. Now, we also want to recognise that the impact of coronavirus has not just been overseas, but also it's impacted the local church here in the UK. And so we're going to cut now to a little interview that we've done with Reverend Andy Farr, who's based in Stamford Methodist Church, who's shared with some of his thoughts on the impacts of coronavirus to him, but also some of the hopes that he has for the church moving forward. So let's hear from Andy now.
We at Stamford Methodist Church had started to think about live streaming our worship anyway. So we were kind of slightly ahead of the game, but had to find ourselves quickly moving into new ways of offering worship and ministry. From the point of view of our ministry, our pastoral care, the telephone has become key again, as we have our pastoral visitors contacting their pastoral list by phone to check in on them. And that's working really well, and people are feeling really connected in a way that maybe they haven't for a while. That's quite amazing how it's brought that about. With regard to worship, we learned very quickly to use technology to our advantage. We have a church Facebook page. We've used that as a platform in order to put up our Sunday worship, and the members of the circuit ministry team and local preachers are recording worship and putting in their testimony and worship songs and a short address each week and prayers. And we're all gathering together from our homes with our mobile in our hand and watching the YouTube recording of worship and interacting with one another on the Facebook comments page. It's been quite incredible, really, to sense that you're together although you're apart.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a very different way of being, isn't it?
It is. Has there been kind of a highlight, if you can, in the midst of this difficult period of lockdown? Is there kind of a highlight within that, would you say, of ministry for you right now?
Yes, I think I'd want to take us back to Holy Week, which came quite early on in the lockdown, when we'd all kind of got our heads around the planning for Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, Acts of Witness, all of that kind of thing. And I've been providing a daily 10-minute evening prayers at 7 o'clock, sending out the YouTube link, putting it on Facebook, and people have been linking into that. And going back to those early days of the lockdown and Holy Week, and following on, I had a wonderful comment by email from one of our church members who said that although we couldn't be together physically, she'd never felt more prepared to celebrate Easter morning than she did this year, having shared every day in 10 minutes evening prayers.
That's amazing, isn't it? So, I mean, what an encouragement as well to have for you, and like you said, it's learning also for the future. And I think that's what this session for us has been about, at Festival at Home so far, is how obviously the situation we found ourselves as we're filming this right now in lockdown, and actually, but there is a hope to come, isn't there? And actually, we always talk about that in our spiritual lives of the hope that is to come. And what's kind of your hope then, kind of from what you've learned in the last few weeks, in particular maybe about yourself, but also about the church and the global church too. But what is there a hope that you kind of have right now for your own context and for the Methodist Church as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things I could say to that, but I'll keep it concise. The first is I want to steal your title, the name of your organisation, All We Can. We need to learn all we can from your current experience, that we can benefit from what's going on now in the new normal, so that we don't just return to what was, but we learn from the interaction, the sense of spirituality, the sharing that's going on virtually, and how we take that forward into the new normal. And I think we can bring out a load of stuff which helps people on the fringe of the church to be drawn in. And I'm seeing that week after week, day after day almost, as people comment on our Facebook group when they've joined in worship and prayer. People are right on the fringe. Some people who don't express a living faith yet are now engaging with us in ways which they never have before.
Yeah.
And those kind of things are things that we need to cherish and hold on to, so that we can draw these people on into a living faith community in the future.
Amen. What a hope that I pray becomes realised as well, for not just for you, but for communities around the UK and also too for the global church. Andy, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you as a part of our Festival at Home seminar today. I pray a blessing upon you, the family, and everyone in Stamford as well. Well, thank you so much, Andy, for those reflections on how coronavirus has impacted your ministry and how there is hope still to come. Now, in just a few moments' time, we're going to hear from Claire Welch, who has performed and written a song called Fading Away. This is a song which is personal to her as she reflected on the impact of those who are in refugee camps. And we really want to encourage you to think about how actually these camps are so vulnerable to the coronavirus. So let's think and reflect as we think of those who are today in isolation in refugee camps, those who face an uncertain future, a search for a new home even. So let's sit back and reflect and worship together now.
If I'd only known that one day you'd be gone, I would have walked your streets and touched every brick. I'd have bought all the smells, recorded every sound. I'd have stayed awake longer, taking everything in. If I'd only known that one day you'd be gone, I would have said yes more and played with that dumb ball. I would have held you close and never let you go. I'd have stayed awake longer, taking every part of you in. And I won't say goodbye, and I won't let you go, 'cause every part of me wants to be back home. But what is home now with you gone? Just a kaleidoscope of memories fading, fading away, fading each day. If I could only see the future meant for me, would I put down roots or go elsewhere? Will I look after myself or always rely on your help? Now I stay awake longer, trying to figure things out. And I won't say goodbye, and I won't let you go, 'cause every part of me that could let us go. Our memories fading, fading away, fading each day, fading away, fading each day.
So my name is Angela Zameri Smith, and I'm the programs director here at All We Can.
We've been hearing stories throughout this seminar of, the reality of the impact that this is going to have. And often when we hear stories of the impact, it can be quite unsettling, and it can also be something where we lose hope. But actually, I know, Angela, in the unique role that you get to have in supporting our partners and in the support of what All We Can does, you're able to actually see another side, aren't you? And actually there's some hope, isn't there, to all of this uncertainty. And I know that you've got some examples of a story of hope that you've seen or beginning to see unfold. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. And, those that have been following some of the things that we've been doing as All We Can would have heard me talk about really dire situations in Uganda, some of the communities in Uganda. And for those that haven't, just to give a little bit of a context, so Uganda has been on extended lockdown. And I've just heard that actually this lockdown has been extended for a further two weeks. And with that, the government has banned all public transport or private transport. And in most communities, those that need to go far distances, either go to a health center, a health clinic, or a hospital, even a district hospital, or maybe need to take some of their produce to market, they would hire a motorcycle, or they go on what they call a boda. So local private transport that takes people to and from the areas that where they need to go. And all of that has been banned, which has meant that people have had to walk very, very far distances. But just recently, with some of the support that certainly we've received from supporters here in the UK, and also what our partners are doing in the communities, I wanted to draw a spotlight on the work that we're doing with our partner, Fabio, in Uganda. So they are providing emergency bikes. So they have made available, say, about 10 bicycles within a community. And those bicycles are available to different households to use during times of emergency, or even to be able to take their produce to market so they can earn a living. Because we know that during this time, the biggest challenge is for those that live hand-to-mouth existence, of course. And so just very recently, we received a report about a woman who had gone into labor. And the nearest birthing center is about 8 kilometers away. But because of the relief bikes that are available in their community, her husband was able to go and borrow the bike and get her to hospital without too much trouble. And they've actually sent us a video of the woman and her new baby, and them saying thank you for making those bikes available to them. So we are starting to hear a lot of these stories, and just really grateful to be part of that response as well.
Amazing. And it's so inspiring to hear actually new life coming from actually a situation which can be seeming so difficult right now. But like you just said, that story of that new baby actually being able to be born, what a blessing that is actually. But that can happen in the midst of this uncertain time. And that there is therefore still hope to come.
We're all hoping and praying for a better day when we can be able to go back to life as normal. So yeah, that's really my hope and my prayer at this time.
That's a powerful hope, and we know that we want to ensure that we work together to ensure that happens, doesn't it? And just thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for your time as well today in sharing that hope, but also that spotlight on those hope stories from Uganda of like those communities that have been affected, but actually seeing some rays of hope actually the bicycle is bringing for those communities. And we obviously know that the support that is given through Festival at Home, both now but also ongoing throughout the year, will help communities just like in Uganda be able to not only go through this period right now and be able to not just survive but thrive and actually see their potential fulfilled. So thank you, Angela, for your time.
God bless you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks very much, Angela and Matt, for that update and for bringing us those stories of hope. It's really important that we keep hold of hope right now. We've heard in the last few minutes some of the challenges that coronavirus is bringing around the world. We know of some of the challenges it's bringing to our own lives, and perhaps it's been a disruptive time for you and for your rhythm too. But what we've also seen in that time is so much hope. All We Can's been running an emergency coronavirus appeal alongside the Methodist Church for a number of weeks now, and we've been overwhelmed by the response we've had to that. So thank you to all of you who've given to support our work around the world to help some of the world's poorest communities adapt to what is a really challenging disease, and a disease with so many challenging side effects. But as Christians, even as we've dealt with some of those challenges, we've clung to our belief in hope, clung to our belief as a people of resurrection. We believe in life after death, and we believe in life after lockdown too. So what we want to do, just to close off our seminar, is introduce you to some of the amazing work that's going on in Uganda. We've already heard from Angela some brilliant stories about how bicycles are being used as a tool for transformation during lockdown. They're enabling people to survive and to get through this really challenging time. They're enabling new life to be born there in Uganda, as we just heard. But also we believe that change begins with a bike, not just during emergency time, but over the longer term too. We believe it's important to break the cycle of poverty, which is about not just being there when there's a coronavirus lockdown, but being there for years, if not decades to come, to see communities and whole nations transformed and rebuilt in Jesus' name. So what we want to do now is travel to Uganda to meet some of the wonderful people who I met in Butagaya, a little community there just a few months ago. And as we do that, we'll hear their stories, and you'll be invited to be a part of the change. Will you join our movement today and break the cycle of poverty together?
Our biggest challenge is we take care of my elderly mother and 7 grandchildren. It costs a lot and our income is very small.
I really want to go to school, but it's a long way, and I have a lot of chores to do first.
Life has been very hard because I'm a differently abled person and I am struggling to support my family.
It's not what I want to do, but I have to make bricks to help my family.
For families like these, change begins with a bike. Change begins with your regular support. For Moses' son Ariel, having a bike means freedom.
Now I can get to school and not make bricks all the time.
For Moses, it means now he can earn some money.
My bicycle repair business will grow and I'll be able to feed my family.
For Florence and David's extended family, it means an additional income.
The bike makes it easier for our grandson Andrew to sell his fish at market and get to school.
And for Nawalat, it means the future she's always dreamed of.
I use my bike to get to school so I can be a nurse one day.
Change begins with a bike. Begin this journey as a regular giver. See the cycle of poverty broken for £6 a month.
Well, you've heard how change begins with a bike. And now it's over to you, it's over to me as well. Because actually it's our action today which can help bring about change, bring about transformation, bring about a break of a cycle of poverty for people just like Area and Nawalat. You see, giving regularly, which is what we want to encourage you to do today on a monthly basis, helps us not just be there in the times of crisis, which is very important, as we've already seen throughout this session, of providing hope, but actually giving regularly ensures that people like Area and Nawalat and communities just like Butagaya actually can be transformed, not for the short term, but for the long term. And so I want to encourage you to help break the cycle of poverty today. Head on over to allwecan.org.uk/Cliff. There you're going to find all the details you need to help become a regular giver. Help break the cycle of poverty today. Help see how change begins with a bike. Because truly, change begins with you and me.